Welcome back to Talkin with Tones. It's me, Tones. Got your boy Skyview here, and it is your weekly Wednesday dose of absolute nonsense.
Factual, actual.
All right, today we had some ideas, and we kind of threw them all out the window because we started debating about Spider-Man, and that's where we're going now.
All we end up doing is arguing about food. So today we told each other to shut up, so now we're going to talk about Spider-Man. Go.
Thanks for the direction. We're going to go through our top 3 Spider-Man in the movies, whether it be, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, or Andrew Garfield, talk about our favorite movies from them, and maybe see what happens from there.
I will always prefer, for the nostalgia, will always be Tobey. But I can look with fresh eyes, adult eyes, and honestly not enjoy him very much. He had a lot of cringy stuff. He was not necessarily a super great actor, unless, of course, he just acted to be that way. He seemed really stale to me. Like, watching it as an adult, he seemed pretty kind of goofy. Which, again, I guess is maybe the point of some of the Spider-Man lore or whatever. But, like, to me, he just wasn't my favorite. When you look at Tom Holland, you look at Andrew Garfield, I just prefer both of them over it, I think. However, I think that there's enough nostalgia factor to the point where I wouldn't put him in last. But I just think that those other two actors, in my opinion, were better. So as far as my ranking goes, Andrew Garfield to me was the best. Andrew Garfield to me was the best Peter Parker. Tom Holland was the best Spider-Man to me because of the fact that he's literally basically Spider-Man in real life. He fucking does like acrobatics for fucking fun. And Tobey Maguire was my least favorite, like, kind of overall. However, the nostalgia factor, the fact that he was the first Spider-Man, the fact that I grew up on him, is probably why I would readjust my rankings as the final. Andrew Garfield, my favorite overall. Tobey in second place, with Tom in third place. But again, I think Tom was the best Spider-Man.
Let me tell you how you're wrong. First off, Tobey's the best.
In what way, though? Because if you're talking pure, like, oh my god, that was my childhood. Like,
no, okay,
I agree
so
with you.
when I look at it, I mean, granted, yeah, there's a childhood thing to it. Yeah.
When was the last? So that I know going into this, when was the last time you watched at least
6 months ago.
his movies, but all the movies? You
6
watched them all?
months
Okay,
yeah, watched all of them again. It's right before No Way Home came out. I went back through the couple ones with Tobey, went back to the ones with Andrew.
I didn't watch the third one. I still to this day have not watched more than like a half hour of
what, Spider-Man 3 Tobey?
Spider-Man 3.
You're missing a lot, but also missing nothing at the same time. It's one of those weird movies where there's so many.
I've heard so much bad shit about it, and like the first half hour does nothing for me. That like, I just didn't care.
See, this is the thing. There's so much bad things in that movie that it ruins what is good. So that it's a weird movie, and it's kind of got out of Sam Raimi's hands. There was a lot of things that went wrong with that movie, and he was forced to do he didn't want to do. Like Venom was a last minute addition the studio forced him to do. But anyways, Tobey number 1.
On what, though? Because I broke it down pretty good. Like, Spider-Man, number 1.
I'm going to explain all that as I go.
Bet.
So, basically, it's Tobey, Andrew, Tom.
So, we're basically the same. It's just
Kinda.
you like Tobey more.
So, anyways, Tobey, the reason
Which,
why
for the record, I'd want to make sure we're not spitting on Tom here. Tom's movies were fucking dope.
No.
To me.
Yeah, so I'll get to that in a minute. But so Tobey, I like him the most, not even from a nostalgia factor. I think he did grasp that awkward, uncomfortable Peter Parker the best.
Tom got that the best, though.
I disagree. I think Tom was way too charismatic to be Peter Parker. Same thing with Andrew. I think that was
as an actor, for sure, he's amazing. But those movies, he was fucking that awkward. I think he grasped being like a freshman and a sophomore way better than fucking like Tobey or any of them did, because they felt, when you look at them, they felt like I'm a senior about to fucking graduate.
At least let me finish my list.
Yeah, but like you're saying that Tobey was the best at Peter Parker and showing like this awkward side, but Tom was the most awkward person to fucking watch. Period. His Peter Parker was savage.
Disagree.
You think that Tom Holland's Peter Parker did not grasp being an awkward teenager better than Tobey did?
Facts. Absolutely. But anyways,
I think the majority of the internet would disagree with you there.
That's fine. I don't care. So I think, well, that is, it's like, it's the new ones. And, we already did Iron Man stuff. And so it's like, no, you kind of got the clouded eyes from like 10 years of Marvel movies. But anyways, so second is Andrew. I love his Spider-Man. I think he's victim to a lot of bad writing decisions. I don't think he should have been as kind of cool as he was. Like the whole, like, I skateboard and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of bad decisions made with his character, which I don't blame on him. And there's a lot of redemption I'll give him that they did with the new No Way Home movie. And, like, I love some of the angles they did with him.
No Way Home, to me, again, regardless of what Spider-Man,
it is the best Spider-Man movie ever.
It is the best. It is probably in my top 3 movies.
It's a good movie. I watched it twice.
I watched it 3 times in the theaters. Unfortunately,
Cool.
I
like
missed
that.
out on, because my life is just fucking in shambles and I'm a recluse. I missed out on the initial shit. I didn't see it until like early-ish, mid-ish January.
Gotcha.
So like I didn't get any spoilers. Like I kind of knew, I think, through the memes that there was probably all Spider-Man in them.
Well, we all knew.
We all kind of knew that
in the first place.
But I missed that, all those theater reactions of people going, "Oh my god!" when Andrew walks out and people like screaming and reacting the way that you see in the memes. I didn't get any of that because again, I saw it fucking in January. But yeah, easily my favorite movie, Spider-Man movie, and it's again probably top 3. My top 3 is probably that, in no particular order: that movie, the Joker, and I don't know what my third one would be, to be honest with you. But those are my top 2 for sure.
We'll get back to that, but I had to put Tom in third place still. It's nothing against Tom. The movies are good.
Right.
I think a lot of Tom is really overshadowed by the fact that they pushed really hard to have him as part of that extended Marvel universe. And it's like the fact that like it takes us 3 movies to get past like an out of Iron Man's shadow, that really hurts his character for me. I'm sorry. But like when the first, if you like go back to, what is it? Homecoming, the first one out of his trilogy. Literally, like half the movie is just like trying to prove Iron Man wrong and he deserves to be a hero, and then or just like calling on him for help. And it's like, you didn't have that with the other 2. They just learned how to be Spider-Man by themselves. He didn't. He was taught how to do it.
But here's my feedback for that. Do I agree that his constant interweb fucking of meshing with Marvel, did I agree that probably took away from his character? Probably. But here's my thing. I'm glad that they did it, because I'm kind of sick of seeing somebody get bit by a spider and then starting to feel weird, going to bed, waking up, they're fucking slanging shit around, and then they learn how to shoot webs. Like the whole origin story and the whole like that they just started doing a pattern the same way that almost the Batman movies were probably getting. It's like it's fucking boring almost after a certain point. So if you're gonna reboot a series, I'd rather see it. You see it a different way, even if that way is slightly subpar to something like a much more solo dolo mission that Andrew and Tobey had. I'm totally okay with seeing a completely new approach to the shit. So I enjoyed that. Now here's the thing though, I don't give a fuck about almost all the other Marvel movies. Personally, I saw only a couple of them.
I stopped caring about them after like the second Captain America movie, Civil War.
Yeah.
It hit that one, and there was so much disappointment for me. People give me shit about that all the time. That movie was not as good as people make it seem. I'm sorry, but when you tell me Captain America Civil War, and 20 minutes into the movie, we see like a fucking tornado tag team 4v4 for 5 minutes, and like Spider-Man just kind of whoops Winter Soldier's ass and goes, "Was that good?" And he asked Dad for permission. Fuck you, that's not a good movie. I don't care. The whole point of Civil War is then the fight, and we got it immediately, and then after that, it was just my Bucky, and Iron Man going, bah. That's.
I haven't even seen the movie.
I hated it in that aspect. It's a cool movie on its own, but like it just really did not live up to what I wanted
don't
to
know
be.
how my brain is able to compartmentalize, but like your average Superman boom boom punch doesn't really do anything for me. I saw like the first Iron Man and pieces of Endgame, like I don't care. Like I really do not care. For some reason I'm able to compartmentalize, however, and be like, oh, Batman, Spider-Man, I'm cool with that, right? Like for some reason I have those 2 in my head, but I couldn't give a fuck less about the rest of Marvel. Is that weird? Is that subpar? Am I losing a bit of the experience for Tom? Maybe that would make him hate. That would make me hate Tom more, or maybe even make me like Tom more.
I feel like people who miss out on the other movies actually get more out of Tom's character. To be
me personally,
honest
I think so, because I can understand a perspective where he's in like 80 movies and you feel like his character is drawn out. When you just watched the Spider-Man movie, you miss out on a couple references like the blips and stuff. Like you have to kind of fill in the gaps and stuff. But like 99% of the movie made perfect sense to me without having all that other context of the 8 other movies.
All you need to know is that someone snapped and he disappeared, and you kind of got all the context.
That's basically what I got out of it, right? But, so like I don't have that experience of feeling like his character is drawn out. I feel like the first movie, he's like super fucking awkward. He's immature. He's constantly trying to prove himself to, Iron Man, and he's just kind of being a dick. The second movie is him kind of, well, let me skip the second movie and say that by the end of the third movie, of course, he's like, he's basically what Spider-Man should be by the end of that movie, right? Like, when he's swinging out the window after she's already dead, like, that is the rebirth, the rebranding of Spider-Man right there is where he should be, right? And the second movie and everything leading up to that is the medium, I'm not too big of a dick, I'm not too annoying, but, like, I'm still, like, a fucking junior or a senior or whatever the fuck in high school, and learning how to not be super duper annoying and learning how to be Spider-Man and balancing all this stuff. I think he did an amazing job. I just don't like him very much as Peter Parker as much as I like Andrew. But again, in a perfect world, my rankings literally would be Andrew Garfield. In a perfect world, you would split up you would split up Peter Parker from Spider-Man, and to rank things properly. I just don't like Tobey.
I'm still at this point, right, where I still think Tobey's the best. And I'm just not going to deviate from that. And, everyone always tells me...
Can you pinpoint it why you feel that way?
I think he's just the most consistent among all the characters. And I get it, other
his
ones had
third
development.
movie flopped, though.
Well, that's not his fault. That's Sam Raimi getting yelled at by a studio.
But, I mean, a lot of them memes or whatever. Like, he definitely... Like, for example, Andrew's movies flopped, too. But he's very loved.
Now...
Even back in the day, the thing was that, like, they hated the movies but loved Andrew.
Kinda. The thing
it was kind of like this.
Yeah, and then it all died off, and then the only reason a lot of people liked him again is because of the couple of one-liners he had in, like, No Way Home. But anyway, so let me get back to it. So, if, like, the biggest things that I really compare Tom and Tobey with is, how can I put this? Both of their second movies. It's actually pretty linear in how they actually did both of their second movies together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both Spider-Man 2 and in, I don't even remember, Far From Home? Is that what it's called? Spider-Man Far From Home? Is that the second one?
I thought that was the third one.
No, that was No Way Home. Yeah, so Far From Home is the second one. So both of them are at this point where they don't know if they want to be Spider-Man, if they want to live a normal life. Right. Like, Peter loses his powers in the original 3 because of his doubt in himself and other things, and that's, he stops believing himself. Yeah, but that's a thing, and I'm cool with that. I'm all right with him just losing his powers because of, like, an actual mental block. I'm fine with that, but it's like... That's mostly a side effect of the fact of it's him going through this mental change of, do I even want this anymore? Do I just want to have a normal life? Do I want to do this thing?
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense physically, though, because if your super strength is coming from fibers of your muscles, not like how you think about yourself in your brain. It's not like a mental.
We didn't lose his strength. He just lost the ability to shoot webs and stuff all the time.
But try to think about why, though. That makes no physical sense.
This is a comic book movie, and you're trying to look at things physically and logistically.
Yeah, because like if you're going to make a movie that is based in at least trying to emulate reality to make somebody look like a superhero, you can't base superhero physical strengths and physical attributes based on whether or not you hate yourself.
That's fine.
Just didn't make sense to me, and that's why.
You're telling me sometimes when you're really sad in the morning, even though you are well rested, well fed, and everything else, you don't feel absolutely like energyless?
I could still pick up the same amount of weight.
Can you?
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel absolutely drained and feel weak, man.
Yeah, but that has no. My mental health has never, ever it's the cloudiness or the sadness or whatever to even want to get up out of bed. Sure, like that, absolutely. But if I needed to move this table, whether or not I was sad or not, I could do that. Right? Like, it has my physical strength or whatever has nothing to do with my mental health. My physical health does.
We're deviating really hard. We go back to Spider-Man. Yeah, we're
the chapters on these YouTube videos are
the rabbit hole is going deep immediately. So let me just get back because you have to let me finish my damn list. I let you go, and your
list is butt cheeks though, dude.
And yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing, right? So let me tell you all the ways why Tobey is just straight up a better Spider-Man than Tom. Let me just straight up say Tobey
a better Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Tell me one formidable villain that Tom fought.
Oh, I'm not basing.
Besides, like, Thanos.
I'm not basing my rankings on any of the villains or any of the MJs or any of the
Tom
directors.
struggled against an old man with metal wings.
Right, but I'm basing them as them. Like, I don't judge you as to how good of a person you are based on like whether or not you got like a cool sister or something. Like, I base them as actors. Like, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, like, he is literally the person who literally is on like the Ellen show bouncing off of walls and doing backflips. Like, he was clearly the best actor for Spider-Man.
I don't care.
That doesn't make him a good Peter Parker as an actor, right? But like, and I personally don't rank him up that way, although again, great movies. But like, when you're talking about the best Spider-Man, the best person who's doing the best physical stunts, like doing all of his stunts and also just looking super heroic and stoic and all that shit, definitely fucking Tom, dude.
Yeah, I forgot. Tom looked really heroic when he was trying to pull the ship back together and all the web snapped. It was crazy. Oh, that's right. Tobey Maguire held a train up with one hand with a web while also holding Mary J and himself up with a web too. Tom couldn't put a ship together webs though.
Yeah,
while
but
it's still floating.
Tom is like 13 in those movies.
Yeah, and Peter's like 17.
Right, that's my point. Is that
actually no? They're both in high
Tom's
school.
last movie. Yeah. Well, they're graduating into college. Remember, that's basically the premise of the very first Spider-Man is that they're getting into college.
Sure.
So the end of in Tom's third movie, the end of that movie is basically comparable to the very beginning of. You see what I'm saying? The age gap.
You're trying to put too much of an actual age gap timeline in it to justify these
but
things.
you can though. But like
no,
imagine if you got a million. If you were a millionaire at age 12, you're gonna handle that money way better if you were a millionaire at age 18, right? Like if you get superhero powers at 13, like Tom Holland did, you're gonna handle that way better if you got it at 17, like fucking Tobey Maguire did. Is what I'm saying.
Here's the difference, though. That was fresh off Tobey Maguire getting his powers. That's a brand new we watch experience. When we first start in Homecoming, Spider-Man already existed. He was already being Spider-Man, and he already honed his powers.
But I don't think they ever have an origin story on him to explain that. To explain that he could have been Spider-Man for fucking 5 years. He could have been Spider-Man for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter.
The difference is we already know he existed, and if you really put it into an actual timeline fact, that happens.
But it's not about experience. It's about age, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, it also means that you had to put experience into it too. That means this man has already understood and learned how his powers work, even if he's a couple years younger.
But that doesn't, sticking somebody behind the wheel at age 11 doesn't mean that by the age of 13 or 14 they're going to be like a fucking NASCAR driver.
Yeah, but let's say someone at 15 gets their driver's permit. By the time they're 17, right, they're going to be a better driver than me getting my license at 18. Because that's just what it is.
Right, because all of those age gaps are pretty mature. But getting a license at fucking age 11 or age 12, like fucking
You're
Tom
like
Holland,
13 or 14 when you start high school.
Right.
How old do you think people are in high school? 11?
No, what I'm saying is just I'm using that as an example for maturity or whatever. What I'm saying is that Tom Holland Spider-Man at the end of the very last movie he was in so far, as of right now, is comparable to the very beginning as far as age and maturity and being able to handle, being able to be smart and understanding certain things about your body or whatever it may be, or just being smart and not being a dick or whatever, is comparable to the beginning of Tobey's movies. Like when he was fucking 17, 18 is what I'm saying. So him being this immature, stupid sack of shit is kind of the point. They weren't trying to avoid that. They weren't like, it's not like they released these movies and they were like, oh, we didn't realize that he was a terrible, annoying teenager who talked like this constantly and is super energetic, and like that was his character, right? Much like Andrew's character was supposed to be this super, super cool guy, right? Like that was his character.
Because they didn't know how to market to people with Spider-Man.
Probably.
They're trying to get into the teenage market. We're thinking like, we'll like the guy.
But I like the
skateboards.
fact that all of them are very different because again, that made that third movie, No Way Home. That movie was fucking awesome. So again, me putting Tom Holland in last place is just purely based on averages.
Past Tobey Maguire.
Huh?
We started my list like 10 minutes ago. I'm still just trying to get past Tobey Maguire.
I just hate. It's facts. Well, no, you've been talking about Andrew and stuff. I just can't get past. Yet. I can't get past your rationalization of telling me that you think that he was a better Spider-Man, not based on villains.
You haven't
let
me explain. You let me have 30 seconds.
You were trying. You were trying, but it just felt like
you don't let me get to my point. You just start yelling at me, and you just go whoa, and then you just cut me off.
Imagine somebody trying to argue that their favorite cheeseburger is fucking Wendy's because because the fries that they come with are better. You're trying to tell me that Spider-Man are better based on villains. You with it?
Tobey's a better Spider-Man, not only because he has cooler villains, so his movies are automatically better.
I'm still not agreeing because you're talking about fries now.
I don't care.
We're not talking about burgers anymore.
Tom Holland needed some French fries to make his actual suit better. Oh, guess what? Tom Holland wouldn't be a good Spider-Man if Iron Man was around.
I'm talking about being like the actor or whatever.
I'm talking about the fact that if it wasn't for Iron Man, he wouldn't even be a good Spider-Man.
I'm looking at logistics. You're looking more at different things. I think that's why we're going to always disagree on this.
Either way, I still think Tom Holland is technically the worst of the three. I don't actually see any justifying facts. I don't see any justifying facts about him being the best Spider-Man either.
Huh?
I don't think he's even the best Spider-Man or best Peter Parker. I think they're both better than him. I think his Spider-Man character is very weak. Until the end of No Way Home, I see way too much flippy-flop, and that's the whole point. It's a trilogy based on this trilogy is his origin and him making that mental determination. Right. But when you waste 3 movies of his own, as well as like 5 or 6
why you say
movies,
waste, though? Because they were all really great movies.
I'm talking
and he's
about,
different in every single one of them.
I'm talking about in the simple fact of like, I wish that because here's the thing, the entirety of his second movie is his fault. This entire second movie is his fault. Yeah, but
again,
it's like
he's like a 15-year-old in that movie.
No, he was not.
Maybe he was not in because he wasn't a senior and
He was
graduating until the third movie.
Yeah, but he was blipped and everything too, and he also fought
yeah,
Thanos. But he also fought Thanos, so there's a lot of already mental determination and like experience at that point. You also fought an alien from outer space.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're still a fucking sophomore or junior, is what I'm getting
I don't
at.
care how old you are. It's like if you watch people die at 14, by the time you're 16, you'll be like, yeah, yep. You have
but that doesn't make you a
tear.
better or more capable person, though.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it make them better or capable, and just you can't use an age determination when it's like in those couple years.
I think in those age gaps you can, because there's a big difference between a fucking senior and a freshman.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's what like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker had to deal with, getting bullied up until he's 17, right? But like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, by the time he's 16 or 17, has watched hundreds of people die, has killed an alien, has been to outer space. It's like, this dude, I don't care how old you are. You've seen enough shit at this point where you have no excuse as to why you're a wishy-washy little bitch.
I mean, I think he does. It just
I don't give you no excuse.
Mental.
When it hits the point that when you fought Captain America and smacked him with his own shield, fuck you. You give me no reason to think that you're not allowed to have those sunglasses from Iron Man. That's the whole point of the second movie is, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Will I even be able to fill his shoes? And no, I almost killed this dude with a drone. It's like, if you remember the beginning of the second one, yeah, but it's like, you have done enough things at this point where you should have no mental excuses to why you're not mentally or physically prepared to step into those shoes.
Physically is, again, I just disagree. I think that when you are talking about that particular age gap, there's a huge difference between freshmen and seniors, and that kind of in the middle is that group. And I think that you see that development between all three of his movies. I think he has the most character development, whereas the first one, again, you walk into Peter Parker and he's basically a 25-year-old fucking.
Here's what I'm going to say.
He's like a 25-year-old senior.
Here's what I'm going to say. When I watched that No Way Home movie, and even though we're all like, yeah, Tom's like the best, and we all kind of talk about it online and be like, yeah, he's the best one. When you go in that movie theater and you hit that point where you look at a couple moments, you're like, oh God, what's going to happen to Tom? People go, oh. But like whenever like Topher, you know what I'm talking about? Whatever. Anyways, I got Topher Grace and Tobey Maguire mixed up. When you, I was like thinking about Spider-Man 3, man. So when you hit that point where like in the movie theater, right, where everyone's like, oh God, Tom might die. Something might happen to him. Or even like Aunt May dies.
Did that ever happen?
There's a couple moments where like he's getting his ass whooped.
Getting his ass beat, but I don't think there was ever.
Yeah, like, this is a moment. I wouldn't say there's no part where like you look at him, he can die. Even the part where he could have killed Green Goblin, people were like, huh. Like no one really cares that much. But
no,
like,
dude. I had a strong visceral reaction to that.
But here's the thing, right? Well, that point where like Tobey gets stabbed, the whole theater went
right, because that's
time.
Childhood though. That has nothing. Everybody in that theater grew up on this person, and they already know that he's like fucking 40 years old, and like it almost made sense to kill him off.
I don't even care if it's childhood or not. I'm going to go say majority of people like Tobey more than Tom and Andrew. If nostalgia or not, I think that's a majority thing. I think we can all agree about that. I think we all like Tobey the most.
But I think most people acknowledge the fact that it might be based on biases, is what I'm getting at. Like, for example, my reason that Tobey is in second place and Tom is in third is based on biases. I acknowledge that from the jump. If you're talking about non-biased stuff, if like I completely threw nostalgia out the window, in my opinion, Tobey was the worst.
I'd still disagree. I don't think in any way that Tobey is even worse than Andrew.
They're pretty comparable. The reason why I think I
feel so bad talking about Andrew because it's not even his fault.
Right, yeah.
It's like that dude, like he wasn't even like he was actually good as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. You could tell like the dude had it. He had it there. It was good. The problem is they just got a little too involved and they made some bad decisions with his character. But like that moment, it was in the church whenever he didn't save Gwen. You could see it and you're like, oh, this is spicy. And you were ready for the third one. And then they just didn't do it. Like, God, I really had such high hopes for Andrew in a third movie.
They're still talking about potentially doing some.
I know the No Way Home kind of revived a lot of those talks, but like I said, I don't
know how I feel about it.
I hope so. Actually, I think with correct people and correct creative, that Andrew could be the best Spider-Man. I think he's always had the capability to be the best one, especially in that moment because everyone talks about this. It's like one of the big quoted things on like Twitter and YouTube and everything else. That part in No Way Home when he goes, "I got bitter." That moment and that scene alone.
Yeah, his scenes were, and again, and he's in my number one slot for a reason. Him catching MJ and then the little facial expressions, definitely huge.
Yep.
Toby stopping Tom and just the looking back and forth was fucking savage for me. Again, a huge Tom moment for me. So I like them all for very different reasons. So Tom being in last place again is based on biases. If I'm talking about purely just based on logistics about who I think did the best jobs without care for nostalgia, Toby's in last place. I like Andrew better as Peter Parker, and Tom Holland to me was not even comparable. Like, I think he was the best Spider-Man, period. Not like the best, like, oh my god, he's the most mature dude ever. I mean, like, the best accurate depiction of what the nerdy, awkward teenager based on the comics. He did the best job of emulating that character to me.
See, I just don't know. I can't feel it with Tom. I mean, I don't anyway think he's even a bad Spider-Man. That's the hard thing about this, is none of them are even bad.
Yeah.
That's what makes it. If it was like, let's say like,
matter of fact, the fact that we're even have such different opinions shows you that they all did a great job, because there's plenty of people out there that actually think that Tom's the best, or Peter, or fucking Toby's the best, or Andrew's the best. Everybody has their different favorite, and that is basically.
But there's no consensus about who's the worst. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem, is everyone disagrees.
I think that a lot of people would kind of jump to saying Andrew based on the writing.
That's not really his fault, so we can't put it on him.
But the fact that a lot of people put him as the best, you know, one of the best Peter Parkers or one of the best Spider-Man, like at least one of those. Yeah, there's no worse one for sure. I
don't know. With Tom's, it just bothers me. It's like, at least with even Andrews in his 2 movies, as opposed to being the only one he didn't get 3, which still bothers me, by the way. But even with Toby's, like, all 3 of them, you see a gentle evolution kind of through all 3, where you see their character change dramatically. And you could say, well, he did it by the end of No Way Home.
Who are you saying changed dramatically? Because I don't think Andrew changed very much.
Well, the thing was, I think we would have seen...
They implied it in No Way Home?
We would have seen it if we would have got a 3rd movie. Right. I think that 3rd movie was going to be that dark,
Tom had easily the best character development.
I'd say it doesn't actually happen until the end of No Way Home. I'd say he's pretty much consistently the same through the first 2.5 movies, and we just see a rapid change in the last 20 minutes.
I think that's probably a pretty good big picture thing to say, but he's definitely different in the beginning of No Way Home compared to whatever.
I mean, fair. Yeah, I'll say it's true, because he did fight a lot more people, and he's kind of been around the block.
But if you really look back, zoom out, like movie 1 to movie 3, easily the best character development. They show that awkward, fucking whiny ass, annoying ass, immature ass, completely unskilled ass teenager to somebody who's confident, making his own fucking suits in his room, swinging and you know, giving up on all his love life and all his loved ones. He lost a bunch of people.
Like I said, I think for me, it's like, the whole like suits thing. I mean, give or take, I can give or take on that. You're just kind of
right. Like, the reason why I said that is because one of your own feedbacks was like he was riding off the coattails of basically Tony Stark Industries or whatever, and that was kind of part of his character. That wasn't something that they oversaw. They did that on purpose. So that at the end of No Way Home, they're showing the sewing machine with the thread coming out with a brand new suit. He made his own suit. Right?
That's what I'm talking about. Is like a lot of that happens in the last 20 minutes of the movie, though. That's the thing. That's what kills me about that one is I
think they handled it good though. It didn't feel like they just threw that ending together. It felt like the whole movie, they just kept opening up threads and chapters, and then it just so happened that they all started.
The movie's great. It's paced well. Everything is spaced out well. It's nice. See, the thing is with me, it's like, here's what I like. In the original Spider-Man movie, the first one with Tobey, you have the scene with Uncle Ben at the beginning.
I like that Uncle Ben the best, low key. Well,
but that's because he's the only one where it's like Uncle Ben, like But
well, there was one in Andrew's Uncle Ben wasn't bad.
Yeah, but Tobey's was. It was just he.
But again, you had to start looking at why.
That's a nostalgia thing. That one is Uncle Ben. The original is nostalgia. Let's go.
And the Aunt May.
Yeah, so we saw.
Can we all at least agree that MJ in the first one was annoying as fuck?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she was just annoying.
Like, Zendaya killed that shit.
Oh, Zendaya was hilarious, and that justifies anything
she is the best MJ. Like, that you could... Zendaya, she hates when people say Zendaya.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but, who's the fucking mean dude who bullies him in all the movies?
Flash Thompson?
Flash, yeah.
The Flash, I was like, that is a different universe.
No, Flash Thompson, whatever.
Yeah.
Andrew's Flash was the best Flash, I thought. He was very accurately, like, much more convincingly a bully.
Yeah, like Toby's was just like
the first one was a little cringy. Like Toby's Flash was a little cringy,
and then Tom's Flash was just kind of like this hype man with an Instagram.
Yeah, his was weird. His was weird as fuck. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, I'm glad that they didn't just recycle everything. I'm glad that that's
it's vastly different.
Yeah, I'm glad that exists.
But
because if without them taking those liberties, Zendaya's MJ would not be Zendaya's MJ.
Fair.
Right? So the fact that Flash has
the slash,
the slash, the hash-slinging, the fact that the hash-slinging slasher,
high school hallways like just bursting like like into the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Into the jungle.
We have appropriately been talking about Spider-Man for 33 minutes with the mic on.
Fair. You know what? Okay.
We should probably brainstorm and even maybe cut this out. What the fuck we're talking about?
You know what, dude? I actually think we can keep a lot of this. I'm not even lying.
I agree that most of that.
There's a couple little fuck ups where we have to cut out, like me forgetting what Tobey's name was. I want that out because it's not like I went, wait, who the fuck? And it's not like a laugh moment. It's like you looked at me confused and I felt confused. It's like, who's Topher Grace? And I was like, oh yeah. And one more reason why Tobey's the best one. Like, here's the best part, right? I don't care what you say, but whenever you tell me that Tugboat Maguire is ready to rock in that suit, I don't even care. You've ever heard the stories about Tugboat? There was like this joke article online. This isn't even for the podcast at this point. This is just to tell you. Like, there's like these joke articles online that like he refused to be called anything but Tugboat and wouldn't respond to his own name.
What the fuck?
Yeah, if you don't call him Tugboat, he'd storm out of the room and like storm off stage and stuff. It was like one of the jokes was like he was accepting an award and he realized it didn't have Tugboat written on it and he threw it away.
Fuck?
And people thought it was real. It's the best thing, dude. So every time, like, I remember I was like hitting on my buddy. I was like, yeah, dude, you want to go see No Way Home? Because it was like a birthday gift or Christmas gift to him or something like that. I was like, yeah, dude, I'll go take you to see it, blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me. He's like, is he in it? I was like, Tugboat's in it. And he went, I'm in for Tugboat. And that was just it, dude.
So I put out feelers for topics. One person, Gary, shout out to Gary. He's in our Discord. I'm not sure if he takes issue with or just for the memes supports to the death. He's from New Zealand.
Okay.
So he has his own sets of lingo. He thinks Pittsburgh lingo is hilarious. He thinks yins is like the best word that has ever existed. Now, me being from like New York, Jersey Shore area, Pittsburgh lingo, Pittsburgh accent, Pittsburgh slang makes me literally want to die.
I don't.
Now, you're from Pittsburgh, I assume. Like from the jump, straight out the
always.
Puss.
Never been,
Yeah, straight out the Puss, 412.
Popped out the womb when I was at a Bucks game. Tickets were still only $1 back then, too.
So how do you feel about, are you able to, as an adult, in your upper 20s, I presume, to look at Pittsburgh lingo and understand why most of the rest of the United States definitely cringes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. So it's like, I say downtown. Like, I don't say downtown.
That, to me, is not slang. That's just simply an accent, right?
Well, here's the thing. There's not much Pittsburgh lingo that isn't just a way we speak. If you, like, you're going down to the crick, that's a creek. I mean, like, that's majority of what we think. We don't really have a lot of slang words. Jag-off is now in the actual dictionary.
But that's still...
No, I'll take jag off. It's fine.
Jack off is
you jack off. Like it's like you ask. It's the thing is like people, I don't
like
know.
Jag off versus jack off is the same as Pittsburgh versus Pittsburgh. Like those are just slang.
Thing is, I think just jag versus jack. Jag just has a better like.
Yeah, jag off sounds better, right?
Yeah, it just rolls.
But I definitely cringe at yins for sure. If nothing else,
what other terms do we have specifically?
Pop drives me crazy.
Well, pop's not a Pittsburgh thing. That's just
pop's not a Pittsburgh thing. But if you look at a map,
the majority of people say pop. If I'm correct.
No,
I'm pretty sure like there's an actual thing that makes
people for the purposes of before I actually bring it up, here's what I think it is going to show. I think the majority of the South says pop. I think the majority of elsewhere says soda, and I think that there's a portion that says soft drink. However, there is literally a pocket, like in the middle of where everybody says soda. There's just this pocket of pop, right in the middle of like the Pittsburgh.
Here's what I think. I think majority of people say pop. Most people like in like the South and stuff will say soda, and I think there's gonna be a small population.
I don't think anybody in the South says soda. I think most people in the South.
I talked to someone from North Carolina who just literally hates every time I call it pop because he calls it soda. But
I think there's always gonna be exceptions.
But I think that there's gonna be a small group that people call Coke. Like everything is.
I have seen that. Now that is fucking
I think there's gonna be people who call everything a Coke.
Okay, so here we are. Anything that it.
I'm right, aren't I?
No, neither of us are right. What? So if you look at this,
okay,
pop takes up a significant portion of country.
Okay.
However, based on population, your New Yorks, your Bostons, your LA, your Vegas, all the major population cities, the mega cities, with the exception of Chicago, they all say soda. So I think the majority of the country, percentage-wise, landmass-wise, say pop, but population-wise say soda. And then you just have, regardless, these fucking idiots in the South that call everything Coke.
I love that, by the way.
Makes no fucking sense, dude.
But anyways, so I looked it up, Washington Post. Now, this is an 8-year-old statistic.
That might not be great, though.
Yeah, it did say...
What does it say, though?
47% soda, 23% pop, 19% say everything is Coke.
That's wild.
That hurts my heart so bad.
That's just fucking crazy.
That is...
My guess is that that mostly probably didn't change too much. But yeah, that makes sense to me. Most of the country landmass-wise say pop, right in the middle. Like, that whole middle of the country just basically calls it pop. But everybody, like, the places that matter.
Yeah, so it's like exactly what I was saying, but just reversed. So it's like I said, a lot of that area may be states, but there are, like, not that many people in those states. Mm-hmm. But you'll see, like, there's 3 or 4 major states that say those words. Like, right. You'll see, like, maybe it's Texas, California, and, like, parts of, like, New York and stuff where those bigger populations are going to say soda. And just by default, they just outrank everything else because there's so many people there.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That map is going to eventually just start to fucking get interracial, whatever word you want to use, mixed, right? So, the point is...
Interracial, huh?
Yeah, facts. Eventually... I mean, let's be real here. Racists make me laugh to the core. Other than the fact that I just hate them.
It's just a weird choice of term,
They make me laugh simply because I would bet in, like... What do you think is a fair number? 200 years, very, 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 very safe. But maybe even less, like 100 years... Nobody's going to be white, and nobody's going to be black. Except for, like, the people who are super isolated. Like, people, like, in the fucking heart of Africa. Or like, fucking African Amazon or whatever. Like, we're all banging each other. Pretty regularly.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very regularly.
Smacking cheeks.
We are clapping them out here.
Like, together, though. Like, we're butt to butt.
Facts.
Like, we're talking double cheek action. It's like a whole bakery with so
I
much
prefer
cake
to
going
hit
on.
one cheek at a time.
No, dude, like, we're doing, like, double
I prefer
cheek.
to bang, bang.
We're
Like,
talking,
hit it from the side, slight angle, like 45
we're talking,
degrees,
like,
bang, bang.
crack to crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, a reverse
Is that
centipede.
possible?
I don't...
Is crack to crack possible? That would hurt. I feel like shoving my full meat stick, hard as shit, down backwards, while reverse humping. Not only am I not interested in that, I'd try it out just for the memes. But crack to crack doesn't sound fun. You know what, though? Low key, if you were, like, bisexual as a dude, that'd probably be fire. Because not only can you get some pussy, but you could probably, like, use one of them double-edged dildos, crack to crack, and get some butt action, too.
I'm 12. It's great. Welcome to Talking with Tones.
All right, what's the next topic? Yeah, clean.
Clean. I need a dump, boy. I'm dripping.
I absolutely love how that is now the thing. Anytime we feel gross, we disinfect.
I didn't expect it to come out so fast.
I swear to God, dude, you just put a full Lake Erie on your hands, dude.
Bro, it came out, and I was watching my hands fill up, and I was like, I should clap again.
Do you skate?
Do I skate? You know what?
That's right. Remember, I broke my fucking wrist the one time I took you skating.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny. It
was no. You don't have to explain yourself. It was hilarious.
It
sucked, but it was hilarious.
I was like,
yeah, bro, you'll be fine.
For like weeks.
I think we should get into that, dude.
For weeks, you're asking me to come out skating with you. I'm always like, oh no. And I had a girl at the point in time, and like I was always busy, and I was always doing shit. And one time, I'm like, you know what, dude? Fuck yeah, I'm coming skating with you. Let's fucking do it. You're like, here, you can take the longboard. Take it.
Yeah,
nice
I gave you the longboard.
10 minutes later, you broke your fucking wrist.
Yeah, it was because in defense of me, it was like late as fuck. It was probably approaching like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Dark as fuck. We were on the North Shore.
Yeah.
And we were going underneath an overpass, and you got the longboard. So for people who don't maybe skate, longboards have nice, soft, big, juicy wheels literally meant for travel. I didn't have 2 longboards like I do now. I only had a longboard and a shortboard at the time. Yeah. So when we went skating, I took the shortboard, which is, meant for skate parks, smooth surfaces, whatever. Sure, you can do street stuff, but like it's supposed to be a good street, which Pittsburgh does not have. So we were going in underneath this overpass where like it was darker than death, right? Like it is.
Yep.
We went underneath this overpass, 0 street lights, the blackest of roads.
You were using your phone as a flashlight while you're skating?
At one point, but at this point, I don't believe I was. And
no, that's why you pulled your phone out.
I was, well, I know I didn't have my phone when I fell simply because the reason why I broke my wrist was because of the position of my hand. You know, I was in the process of kicking and pushing, and literally my wheels fell into this unforeseen. I wouldn't even call it a pothole. It was literally just this fucking gap in the road. Yep. And like, you rolled right over it because you got big juicy wheels, but I got these small bangers, and my wheels just fall right into it. So we're going like fucking 20, 25 miles an hour, and in an instant, I had no idea what happened. Like, I was in the middle of a push, and the wheels hit, and my hand did this into my chest. That 200-pound dude at 25 miles an hour, my hand basically crunched like this. So I broke this bone right here in like 3 places, and I fractured a couple bones down here. And I chipped my chin too. Like when I spanked the fucking ground, it chipped this. Now I knew that shit was going to hurt for sure. When I got up, I was like, oh fuck, that this is gonna hurt later. Yeah. But like, I was more concerned about like here and like the fact that I just spanked my chest on the ground. I didn't even notice that my hand did that. Yeah. So I didn't realize until like 10, 20 minutes later, however long it took us to get up to the 7-Eleven up there on North Shore. Probably not even that long, like 5-10 minutes. I went to go grab a water from the fucking thing, and I couldn't even do this. I just so happened to use this hand to open the door before. I didn't feel pain until that first time I went to go grab something. I realized that my hand was literally not working. Like I couldn't, like I felt like a grinding kind of like sensation. I was like, oh, okay. At that moment, I knew it was. I was like, okay, I think I broke this shit.
It was so funny because like we went to 7-Eleven. You went to get something to drink. I already grabbed my bottle of water and walking towards like the counter. And me and the guy are talking, trying to get a pack of cigarettes. On yours, and like we both just went, what the fuck is that? And we turn around. And you're just sitting there like looking at your hand. And I looked at him. I looked at the guy at the counter. I was like, I promise we're not drunk. This is the only thing. I was like,
you got to give me this though. Not only did I was enjoying myself, much like I am now. I enjoy my free time, right? So we just kept skating at least for a little bit.
Like an hour or two after that.
I went what?
Like an hour or two after that.
Yeah, like we just kept going, and I was more careful about the terrain we were on. But in either case, I went to work the next day. I opened at Lowe's and Lumber the next day, and I had a 5 o'clock shift. Specifically, remember how shitty that was, and I made it until like 8 or 9, maybe even like 10 a.m. Until the fucking Med Express opened down the street. So I was working lumber, actually picking shit up without a cast, without anything, like actually trying to work the fucking lumber, the concrete, all that shit for like 5 hours before I was like, dude, no, this ain't happening anymore. I was in so much pain by the end of me leaving to go to Med Express that I couldn't even drive my car at my stick shift. Yeah. That my brother came from Greensburg to come drive me 20 feet to the fucking Med Express. And then I found out that it was like broken to bejesus and back. Damien and Ali and all, dude, they fucking hated me because I had like real actual exemptions. I was like, I couldn't lift like medically more than like 5 pounds, and like I'm one of the only like people. Bryson, I think I just left, and like Trey had just transferred, so like I'm like the only person over there and in lumber in this whole fucking store, half of the store. And I couldn't lift more than like a fucking single 2x4. They fucking hated me. Don't get me wrong. Within a couple weeks, once the pain subsided, I was just using this. Right? Like I just was avoiding using my actual hand. But yep. Our one and only real adventure outside ended with me absolutely decimating my fucking wrist. And I'm assuming you haven't been skating since.
No, I actually bought a board of a few months ago.
Nice, yeah. You should come skating with us this summer, dude.
I've won a few times. I try every once in a while to do it. See, it's like I want to keep going on it and getting better at skating. But then, like, I see a case of beer in my fridge, and then I think about it. And I'm like, that seems more fun than skating.
I guess that's a great, because I don't remember how much we left into the edit last time, but we talked about alcohol a lot less. But that is a great way for me to. As a matter of fact, I have a fucking BMX bike sitting in there. Yeah. I'm 31 years old, so I don't really be like bussing it. Yeah. Right? But it's just cruising and shit. That's my beer. Absolutely.
Fair. I mean, I get it.
Especially on a longboard right now, because I'm not busting kickflips. Like, I'm just trying to cruise without concern for rocks and fucking potholes. I'm just trying to cruise, and to grab a longboard is fucking amazing.
So it's not like I get it, like that's your beard, stuff like that. But like, listen, when you're trying to like play a video game with your buddy, You're like, you know what would make this more funny? If I was like half drunk and couldn't see straight. So like you're trying to shoot someone in Call of Duty and your whole hand's just doing this, and you're like, how good am I whenever I can't even like sit still? Like it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll be trying to play Warzone. No, I get it. Just I don't drink in a healthy way majority of the time. That's fine, and I acknowledge that that's probably a problem. But you know what? I'm still in those golden years where I don't care yet. So let's.
What is the golden year threshold?
Oh, that's when I wake up in the morning and I go, shit. I'm pretty sure I'm 30. But
I'm pretty sure.
When I can feel my knees moving together, like I feel movement inside of my knee, that's when it's game over.
For me, it was like 27, 28.
But man, like me and my buddy will hop on Warzone and I'll just crack a beer and it's like, all right, cool. Crack another beer. I'm like, all right, I'm fine. Third beer, all right. By the fourth one, you're just drinking it because it tastes good and you don't realize that you're drunk at this point. And then you get a couple more beers in and then you can't even play. Like, you're sitting there like this in your chair. You can't aim at people. And, like, everyone else in your game, like, dude, I'm not sure if you ever, like, played Wars and watched gameplay. People are crazy in that fucking game, right? And people are sweaty. So, like, these people are doing, like, this weird, like, crouch, slide, cancel bullshit, spinning around circles and all kinds of shit, like bunny hopping around corners, shooting people, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't remember how to crouch. Straight up one time, we were in the middle of playing, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, what button do you reload with?
Minecraft, much like World of Warcraft for a lot of people, I must have put like a couple thousand hours into that game.
See, for me, it's like, I can't remember when I found Minecraft. I know it was in like high school, like I think like freshman or sophomore is the second year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like on my Xbox, and I was like, I don't know how to play this game.
Fuck the console versions. I'm not usually huge into the console versus PC argument, but literally with Minecraft, it's actually a different game. Yes.
Yeah.
The Bedrock version is way different from Java.
Yeah.
If you're not playing Java, you're not playing Minecraft.
I mean, I'm not telling you that you're wrong in that aspect, but like, I didn't have a PC till I was like 20-something.
Sure, like you still got a dose of it, but you definitely didn't get until you got it on PC and played it with PC and you played it with other people, like the community-based.
Oh, everything I did was
sandbox. Solo. That's what the game is, and unfortunately, a lot of people just didn't play that. People, would play it on their phones or Xbox and think that that's what Minecraft is, and it fucking wasn't.
No, I get you. And the thing that really sucks about it is, like, when I was really enjoying Minecraft, I was still just playing solo on my Xbox. So I spent, like, hours. I completely, like, carved out a man-made lake in the middle of the snow mountains and everything like that. I went through all this effort, built, like, an ice hockey arena, built a mansion floating on the water. I made, like, a lily pad bridge that, like, led into, like, an underwater elevator, led to, like, an entire glass room and stuff. And I had, like, squids and stuff down there. I went through all this effort, spent so much time building all this stuff. And granted, that's, like, you built like 3 things, but like for me that was like that took me days. I didn't know how to play. I was learning how to go.
Survival.
Yeah, and like I didn't know how to play, so I was learning as I was doing those things. And it's like now I play on like a public server, and it's just like I do the same thing every time. I find one place at like millions of blocks from everyone else, build one house, make my farms, and go, all right, I'm fucking done. Yeah, and then I just kind of walk around just putting dicks on everyone else's property.
Right.
Going, wow,
yeah.
who did that?
Minecraft is a very weird game for me because it absolutely I play it, I find it or rediscover it.
Yeah, basically.
Play it, like, relentlessly for a few days, maybe a few weeks even, maybe. But probably not. Probably more like a couple days until I have burnt the fuck out. And then I completely stop playing it for months. Maybe even longer, right? Like, but when I first found it, the reason for that is because it's almost like you're almost trying to chase this high. Like with Minecraft, the very first time I played Minecraft, it was with all the boys. We're all on this amazing server. We're all fucking adventuring together. We're looking for shit. We're finding temples. We're going underwater. We're building crazy community builds, and I'm constantly chasing that high because most of those people are, a couple of them are fucking dead. A couple of them aren't even like playing anymore. We're all very busy adults now, so we're almost always constantly chasing this high. Where sometimes maybe once a year we have this like 1 week segment where everybody's like super in the mood to play, and we do it, and then we stop playing again. Like it's like you're trying to recapture a magic, but once you realize that you can't recapture that magic, all you have is just sadness. Especially when the Minecraft music starts playing, because the Minecraft music is so beautiful, but also so sad and so nostalgic.
You know what? I will say sometimes I play Minecraft, and it's like not even like to chase the high. It's just quite literally that game I play where it's like this is just so peaceful.
For me, that's Tony Hawk.
For me, it's Minecraft, weirdly enough. So it's like what I like to do as I turn the music
Yours
volume
makes
all the
more
way
sense.
up. I'll talk about some Tony Hawk. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk about Tony Hawk, but like I'll just walk around. Like I won't even always build stuff. I'll build like a quick dirt house or something like that. And it's kind of just walk around, explore, just see what's going on. Try to climb on top of mountains. Just look us up, and it's once you hear that one song, that one main song, you know that exactly.
Like it's going night, the sunset song.
Yeah, you hear that, and you just kind of put your head back and go.
Facts, dude. I try my best to get people into Minecraft for two reasons. One, because I know that if they are a creative person, they will love this fucking game. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a stigma where people think it's like this Legos thing, and it is if you play in creative. Yeah. But when you're playing community-based survival shit, it is a beautiful fucking relaxing and hilarious community game. But so my main reason for getting people into Minecraft is because if I think that they'll enjoy it, I want them to experience what I experienced 10 years ago, because it's still possible. If they've never played Minecraft before,
of course,
that, you know, they're going to fucking really enjoy that shit. Reason number two is because every single one of my episodes of getting into Minecraft for weeks at a time is always correlated directly with somebody new playing the game. Like, by me introducing and playing Minecraft with somebody who's never played it before, I can fall back in love by watching them fall in love with the game, and I'm like, oh, damn, this is cool, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I always try to get people into Minecraft because of that reason, is because not only do I want them to enjoy it, but I kind of low-key am still chasing that high. So, Minecraft is an interesting enigma. I can't play it alone. That I can say. It would, in a perfect world, I would love to be able to play it as my relaxing game, but it makes me too sad.
You know what? So for me, it's like weird. So majority of the times when I played games, when I first discovered them, was by myself. So sometimes it's weird for me to like transition to a multiplayer setting, because it's just like, I don't want to be around you. I don't want you near me. I want to have these different things in different areas and stuff.
All of my gaming, even single player gaming, was like, I grew up watching my brothers play video games, and like that was fucking awesome to me, right? And I still kind of do that now. I watch people stream and stuff. Like, it's basically the same exact thing. So my gaming is always kind of social. So almost every game I play, with the exception of something like, okay, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I want to go to bed in about an hour, and I'll throw on Tony Hawk. Like, that is the one thing that I do. Every other game, from Halo to GTA 5, GTA 4, even like Skyrim, it was very social to me. Like, I want to play with people, but I just don't have the time to.
So for me, it's like, I get that 100%. Like, a lot of my gaming experiences as a kid were straight up like, I either played some games by myself or I played it strict with my brother. 100%. Like, when I play Portal 2 with anyone but my brother, 20 minutes in, I'm like, I'm bored of this.
Thanks.
All of Halo, we beat every single Halo together. Every time it came out, we would sit down and play the co-op campaign all through the day until we finished it together. We'd do the challenges together.
Halo was huge for me.
Exactly.
And again, to this day, I can play it, but I can't.
We'd play Tony Hawk and take turns playing through levels. Like, we would do that with Portal. We did it through so many games that it's like, it hits a point where like, you look at like that person and you're like, us. That's it. Like, we had like every Friday we have something called Boys Night. It's like me, my brother, a couple of our friends. Like, it's just the four of us play games together every Friday. And as soon as they announced like the new Halo's coming out, like, I called my brother. I was like, dude, when this has co-op, like, you and me have to play. Like, we cannot beat this game without being co-op.
I share that portion of my, that's almost identical to
Gears of War is another one.
Gears of War wasn't that huge for me, but one of my biggest...
That was my first Xbox 360 game, was Gears of War.
I don't remember what
it was funny. Like,
it might have been, but since you were on the Halo thing, did you do the midnight release for Halo 2?
I was too young for that kind of stuff.
It might have been. It was either Halo. No, I'm pretty sure it was Halo 2. I'm pretty sure it was. Like, it was either Halo 2 or Halo 3, but I'm like 90% sure it was Halo 2. It was like midnight release. I will always remember that shit. Me and my brother went down to the GameStop. Yeah, dude, that was fucking fire. And I was so fucking exhausted by the time we got home. Fucking, like, I had school. It was a school night, so like I had to. I was actually sick. My mom think I was just like, trying to stay home and play Halo all day, but no, like, I was actually like super fucking sick for some reason. But yeah, dude, Halo. Huge portion of my fucking life, that's for sure. Tony Hawk, though?
Oh, I love Tony Hawk.
What's your hierarchy? Me, my top 2, matter of fact, I'll give top 3, I suppose.
Okay.
Is Tony Hawk 3.
Okay.
Followed by my second favorite, which is Tony Hawk Underground 2.
Okay.
Followed by the next one, which might be a little controversial simply because it's kind of 2, is the most recent remaster of 1+2. I did not enjoy Tony Hawk 1 when it really came out. No, don't get me wrong, I played it, but it wasn't like Tony Hawk 3 destroyed 1 and 2 to me, right? But yeah, when they remastered 1 and 2, I found a whole new love for both of those games.
3 had the Canada map and stuff, right?
3 was Canada.
Okay, that's what I thought was
Canada.
3.
It had cruise ship.
Yep. So
started off with Foundry.
So for me, it goes, number 1 is Tony Hawk Underground, the first Thug. That's my top. Number 2 is actually Pro Skater 4. I loved that game. That's the one that was like, okay, this got me hooked, and that's what me getting to play like Underground 1. And then 3 is Tony Hawk 3. Like, I was pretty sure. I want to double check, but it's like those maps specifically.
Canada to this day, 100% my favorite level.
Map. 100%.
It's hilarious because there's actually YouTube videos where I've watched, like, some of them are like multiple hours long. Yeah. They rank every level, and Canada doesn't seem to get a whole lot of love, especially that portion behind where like it's all snowy and stuff. Yeah. Like, a lot of people don't like the fucking automated, ramp that goes up to the top like that. Like, I get it, I guess, a little bit for the purposes of like robot lines, they call them, for getting a lot of points or whatever. But Canada to me is easily my favorite level, followed up by Cruise Ship. Cruise Ship is banging. I did not like the levels in Underground. I liked Underground's mechanics a lot, but they more or less were the exact same as what came out after, which was Underground 2, with the exception of like Sticker Slap and stuff like that. So like Underground 1 to me was a lesser version of Underground 2. I just didn't like the levels, bro, except for like maybe New York or Manhattan, whatever they called it.
New York was a good one. I think another one.
I hated Hawaii.
Hawaii was just cool.
It was a cool, I liked them in context of the stories.
Yeah,
but when you actually play the levels, they kind of butt cheeks.
Oh yeah, of course. So, and that was it. So, I like New York. I like Vancouver. What is it? Something City Jam, Fan City Jam.
I think so.
Know what it is? Can't remember the name right now. And I liked New Jersey.
First level? Really?
Hold on.
New Jersey's not bad.
It's not about just like, oh, I can do that. It's about making the whole line. Like, it was so fun to me to go an entire circle and hit every grind spot with never getting out of the combo. That, for me, was just so fun. I'd spend hours trying to find out how to make my own line so I can hit every grind spot, go through every ramp, hit everything, and never lose that combo. I spent hours on that as a kid, man. Days, even.
The one game I played the least of, probably Tony Hawk 4.
I liked it. That was the one that got me.
I didn't play it very much because I didn't own it, probably because I was like a broke kid or whatever. But, like, I did play it enough to know that it's definitely not in my top 3, but especially the way that that's when they really did like the first story based thing, where like it didn't have the classic mode didn't exist anymore. I think the reason why I like Tony Hawk 2,
I think it had classic mode, but it just wasn't as important.
I don't think classic mode didn't exist until Thug 2. I think that after Tony Hawk 3, it was just story mode for Tony Hawk 4 and Underground. It wasn't until Thug 2 that the classic mode came out.
No, you know what? 4 had classic mode, but not as classic mode. What it was is they took all the original stuff, and that was your missions for the story mode, basically.
Have you played the new 1 and 2?
No, I haven't. Oh, no, actually, I did for like an hour or so once.
How?
Honestly,
dude, like somebody else owned it or something?
Yeah, someone else owned it.
Dude, it is pretty fucking good.
I mean, it seemed like a lot of fun.
And it made me really happy to see that, hopefully, that they were going to make new ones.
Here's the thing, right? So I thought about it. I really wanted to after I played it, and I sat down for a week. Because this is what I do with a lot of games where I'm like, this seems really good, this remaster. Because I always bite on remasters every time. And I looked at it, and I was like, I don't want to not be able to get off my board anymore. I want a story mode game. And it seems, I get it. It's 100% a game you want to play because it's just fun, dude. And it seems like I would not have a bad time with that game.
They brought in new mechanics, like I think the stickers. Like there's a couple things like reverts.
I would probably put it down and then never pick it back up again.
When I play Thug 2 and then go to 1 and 2, it takes me a couple minutes to adjust to not being able to get off my board. But like once I'm playing it, like it doesn't bother me is what I'm getting at. Like, don't get me wrong. The reason why I liked 1 and 2 so much is because it remastered some really great levels from the first 2.
Yeah.
But what it also did to me is it showed that it was possible to make a Tony Hawk game with a new engine and actually feel good. Because the problem was every remaster they made up to that point, matter of fact, every game after Thug 2, in my opinion, was butt cheeks, especially once you start getting into
American Wasteland wasn't that great.
American Wasteland. What did you say? Wasn't that great, or
It wasn't that great. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't that bad, but it definitely
like,
was declining
yeah.
after Thug 2. Matter of fact, some people
what?
would argue that it started declining after Thug 1. But
the Thug 2 was weird in my opinion.
Thug 2, I liked the mechanics the most,
Disliked
and the
story a lot.
levels were great. However, I hated the story. The story was just super cringe. You know, the Bam
There was no
Margera
need
shit.
for it. It was just like, it was basically
I played
like,
classic mode when I played
I think
Thug
what
2.
happened was they were really capitalizing on the fact that like Viva La Bam was super
Oh,
popular.
for sure.
And they were
you
like,
can't blame them, really, for sure, because at
Yeah.
the time it just was what it was, and it probably worked
exactly.
back then. But when you look back now, it's kind of butt cheeks. So when I play Thug 2 now, I play classic mode for sure. But when 1 and 2 remaster came out, I was like, okay, clearly they could make these fucking games look good and also feel like a classic game. It's like, okay, cool, please, for the love of God, make a new Tony Hawk. Like, just put out a new fucking Tony Hawk game. You've proven that you can make the game look fucking absolutely beautiful. You've proven that you can get the mechanics right, because a lot of the remasters felt weird. They felt floaty. The physics didn't feel right. All that good shit. Most people are so kind of like low-key depressed. I think people are trying to like relive their childhoods and stuff. I think that's why
capitalize.
I think that we're trying to, reboot old TV shows. We're trying to
Old movies,
old movies, old games,
Yep.
getting remasters or at least reboots. And it's like, there's got to be a point where you can still capitalize on that, but just give me something new. That's all.
See, I'm cool because the thing is, like, I always felt like there should be a third Thug because the second one was kind of felt like a letdown to me. Like, hold on, I know you hate it because that's like your favorite one. It's
my favorite one maps wise. The story was terrible.
Yeah, that's exactly why the story bothered the shit out of me. The reason why I like Thug so much was because it was like the first one where you got to sit down and become a pro, and then you got to make your own board. It's like the only game where you felt like you were in the Tony Hawk universe and you were just playing as Tony Hawk.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. My input, from my perspective, is that I don't really give a fuck about the immersion.
I liked it.
In the same way that I don't care about the same way that I'm able to enjoy Thug 2 almost as much as Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and not have it be affected by how bad to me the story was is because I can just go around the level and skate and not have to worry about who I am, what my hair looks like, what my board is, who my sponsor is, and all that shit. Like, I don't care. I just want like good levels with a damn good banging soundtrack that looks beautiful. Like, that's what I want out of a Tony Hawk game. I think that the Thug 2 is a good example of, I think, them caring too much about the gimmicks. Like, just stop. Just give me a cool, give me some skating options. Sure, like the remasters 1 and 2 has a shitload of options for decks and hairstyles. I gave him long black hair, and he's been wearing the same outfit since the day I got it. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of the immersion. What they could do
to make it cool is, like, if you were to make any new one, you could have the story mode. You could also have classic mode at the same time. But the thing is, a lot of times to play classic mode, you have to beat it on story mode first. Why not just straight up, like, you
not
don't
on
need to play
Thug 2 at least. You're good.
But like, think about it, like, why don't you just have it separate completely? Like, you don't even need to play story mode. You could just play through this game in classic mode as long as you, like you said, have the like a good soundtrack, good levels, and just, if you want to make your character, give them the clothes, bang bang.
A great example of that again is Thug 2, but an even better example of that is 1 and 2. They didn't have a story mode. It's literally just levels.
Yeah, I loved that you went back to the original, like right back to the warehouse
for training.
I loved that.
That was in Thug 2. I think it was also in Thug 1, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was only Thug 2. When you get there, and that's the first place
I hate that level in classic mode, though, bro. It's the worst level in classic mode. No, I'm not joking. I'm not playing with you, bro, because you have to destroy like 20 sprinklers. That you have to grind lights and pipes over the top of the entire fucking warehouse. And if you don't remember, warehouse in Thug 2 was expanded. You break through the wall and it's double in size. There are 20 fucking sprinklers that you have to try to grind and jump and maneuver to get rid of. And I've watched pro fucking, like, this dude named Andy THPS. He's one of the people who actually worked on these games.
Yeah.
He plays Tony Hawk regularly, and I watch him. He struggles getting these motherfuckers. Like, dude, these fucking sprinklers, fuck the warehouse, dude.
Yeah, we've gone from Spider-Man to Tony Hawk. There's some Minecraft in there.
Lots of games, lots of Tony Hawk. I don't think we touched on food today.
You know what? We didn't touch on food. Let's just, let's keep it that way. I think we did a good job staying away from it today.
Fuck deep dish pizza.
Deep dish pizza kind of bangs. Fuck you.
It's fire. Just don't call it pizza.
I'm from New York.
All right, outro us, boy.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. As always, I am Tones. This is Skyview. Find us on Instagram at @YoIt'sTones Skyview. Check out Skyview Park. Check out the website, skyviewpark.com. Click the bell, like the video, check out some more stuff we got going on. See you next Wednesday.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, thanks so much for watching the clips and stuff. If you've made it all the way through this YouTube video, however, leave an emoji in the comments. What should they leave today?
Ooh, I'm going to go ahead and say just like the emoji of them just doing this. You know what I'm talking about? Like the one with the one hand.
The like, I don't know, like girl face or whatever.
Sassy.
So leave an I don't know in the comments if you've made it all the way through this video. One of these days, somebody's going to do it, and it's going to make us feel real good.
Yeah, we're going to be real happy about it. But check us out on TikTok. We're on TikTok as well, so we got a lot of stuff.
Instagram Reels. Appreciate everybody who's taking a look at all the snippets and stuff.
Next week, we're not actually be putting on a full episode. What we're going to do is going to take a look at the last couple episodes, find some stuff we like, put a little clip show out, some good sound bites, some good little
compilation, boy.
Us screaming at each other, basically. It's going to be a good time.
Beautiful. Well, we will catch you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.
Peace.
That's the way it did.